Good morning, everyone. Oh my goodness. My voice is still not 100%, if you can believe that. For the first time in a really, really long time, I did not record tea time last week because I was really sick. And, well, I shouldn't say really sick. I was just sick in a way that it really affected my ability to talk. Luckily, I was off from teaching last week, so I was able to rest it a little bit more, but my voice was so raspy. And when you're sick and your voice does that high-low thing, I just figured that that sort of modulation would not be pleasant for people to listen to in podcast form. And so I elected not to record. It was really quite bad. And it improved. My voice improved quite a bit over the weekend. I started to feel a lot better, and I'm back to teaching this week. But I could tell right away on Monday as I was teaching that my voice was starting to feel a little raw. It's not anywhere near like it was last week with the just really, I don't even know exactly how to describe it, but it's like your voice doesn't even sound like your own. It's really husky and weird and just not consistent at all in pitch. So at least it's not like that anymore. But my throat does not feel normal, and I can tell that my voice still is just, it's affected still. So there we have it. But I do think I sound mostly like myself. So I decided to record, and here I am. It's a very dreary, rainy morning here in Western New York. And I was up later than I wanted to be. Today's Thursday, November 3rd. Say the 3rd? Yeah, the 3rd. I was up watching the World Series last night, and I'm a little bitter that I live in the Eastern time zone, and therefore it is so difficult for us to ever finish watching primetime sports because they just go so late. And in particular, this game had a rain delay. And so there was no way that I could stay up to watch the whole thing and be able to get up for work in the morning. And I was bummed. So I watched as much as I could. I really, really enjoyed it. I had a good feeling for the Cubs. And when I woke up this morning, sure enough, found that they had won, but it was a real nail biter. And I was so jealous of all my friends in the Pacific time zone that got to see the whole thing. Mike and I talk about this all the time. Our dream is to live in the mountain time zone. We think that one would be perfect, but I would take anything, including the central time zone. I think that that hour would make a big difference. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. It is what it is. So I enjoyed that very much last night, and that was a really lovely, relaxing interlude for the whole family. And Anne was in a better mood. She caused quite a ruckus on the Feast of All Saints, let me tell you. I couldn't get to Mass because of Anne. And I don't like it when that happens, but it's, you're excused when that happens. I'm not going to be scrupulous about it. The kids had gone to Mass during the day at school, which was fabulousness. And so I was planning to go by myself in the evening, and they both needed to get to bed early anyway because it had been Halloween the night before, and they were both up later than usual. And so Mike was going to take care of bedtime while I went to Mass, and Anne was like the child from The Exorcist. She was on a rampage, inconsolably crying amidst stomping around the house and generally causing trouble. And she was just beside herself about me leaving. And I did not want to leave Mike to deal with that because that was very unpleasant. And so I stayed home and read to her and calmed her down and got her to bed, and everybody was happy aside from, of course, me wanting to go to Mass. But my baby needed me. So, and that was the last opportunity for Mass. I would have loved to have gone in the morning or on my lunch hour, but with my teaching schedule, it wasn't a possibility. So that was a bummer because I love the Feast of All Saints. But on the Feast of All Saints, we commenced our 54-day rosary novena. So today is day 3. If you're listening to this on Friday, I'll probably be putting this out on Friday. It'll be day 4. So if you're behind or you still want to start, you can still, it doesn't matter. We'll just be praying along together for the majority. If you want to catch up, I don't really see anything wrong with that. But if you just want to start a few days late, just have your end day be the feast of Saint Stephen instead of Christmas Eve, or what's the 27th? Is that the Holy Family, or is that the 28th? But there's lots of lovely holy days there surrounding the Christmas season. So just have yours finished up a few days later. We'll be praying together for 99% of the time. I'm enjoying the discipline of getting back into a full rosary every day and having that motivation to finish it up. I just gotten out of that habit. For a time, I was praying a decade or two, and that's good, I'll take it. But then I had just fallen into the bad habit of only listening to podcasts or music in my car, which of course I love doing, and there's nothing wrong with those things, but then I wasn't praying my rosary. So on Tuesday, I started, and I do have to divide my rosary up amongst the day. So what I will generally do is pray a few decades in the morning, and then pray a few decades on my commute home. And I usually have a decade left because my commute is not very long. And so Anne and I pray a decade before she goes to bed. And we did do that on Tuesday too, for the Feast of All Saints. So that was lovely. And then I finished the whole thing. So it's been nice. Over the course of a 54-day rosary novena, I do usually forget once or twice, but I always have the best of intentions and endeavor to do my best every single day to finish the rosary, and that is my goal. So I've got a larger intention that I'm praying about with regard to discerning things, with regards to my job and my career future, if you will, as a librarian, and what I'm supposed to be doing with that. So I'm just very relaxed in the knowledge that I am praying this long-term novena for that intention. I'm not worrying about it or thinking about it because I know that this is the way to handle it, and I feel good about that. And I know that a lot of other people are praying along and that you all have your own intentions, so I'm thinking of you as well. Yeah, I'm enjoying that we have this. So that's been good. I wish I had remembered to bring it in, but I tell you, my memory these days, it's rough. It's really rough this semester, my friends. Epic with regard to my forgetfulness. My flash drive is just an entity unto itself. Remembering to bring that to class, it's been kind of tough. What was I just talking about? Speaking of rosary. So I wish I had remembered to bring in my Dia de los Muertos rosary, which is beautiful. I've been praying with that since November 1st, using that for the novena. At some point, I'm going to transition to my Saint Cecilia rosary. Her feast is coming up on November 22nd. Also in the mix, I have my General Fall Pumpkin Spice rosary that has a mother and child centerpiece, one of my favorites. It's orange and green. And so I've got those rosaries right now in the little cup holder in my car, and I just, pick from those. So coming up, I'll be using St. Cecilia. After Advent starts, I have a couple of winter rosaries that I love. One is a Holy Family, for obvious reasons. I also have a St. Joseph rosary that I think fits very well for Advent, and it's like the purple of the Advent candles. And I have an Our Lady of Lourdes rosary that is like winter themed. So I'll probably be using those in December. This is ridiculous. It's like changing my outfit with how many rosaries I have accumulated over these many years of rosary praying. But I do enjoy it, and it ties my prayers into the liturgical season a little bit and the church calendar with saint feast days and all that, and calls those friends up in heaven to mind and just cheers me up when I pray. I think of asking for their specific intercession when I'm using those rosaries, and yeah, that's all. I see it as a good thing. I will put a link in my show notes to my very favorite rosary shop, Rosaries by Allison, which is where I get my rosaries these days. So I believe all of the rosaries that I just mentioned were made by Allison. So if you're curious about any of those, write in and we can get Allison on the line to make one for you too. So that's going really well, and I'm pleased with that. I have to teach it's 8:46 right now. I'm looking at my clock in the morning. I have to teach at 9:20. I don't want to, my friends. I don't want to. I am so sick of teaching. Specifically, I am so sick of teaching the exact same thing between 13 and 15 times every week, depending on if I'm covering for anybody and what the situation is with the class load each week. But that's just too many classes, and I think we all feel that way. The librarians who are on my team, it's just the monotony is just it's drudgery, and there's just so many little frustrations that have come up with um, dealing with the students and the content and all that, because each class is a unique group of students, and so that's over 300, and so you get a lot of questions about the same things every week, and so it's just it's been difficult. We had a week off last week, and it was refreshing and recharging in every possible way. The students had an online module. Um, we're back to in person this week and for the next 2 weeks, but the next 2 weeks are going to be workshops where, like research days, where the students will be working, and I'll just be like in old reference librarian mode. I'll be coming around and just helping them one-on-one, and I'm really looking forward to that. So I've just got to get to the end of this week, but it is so tough, this final push. I've been finding that all semester long, that Thursday and Friday, I like my Tuesday, Thursday classes. I don't know, there's just like a better dynamic, good groups, good vibe. I like the schedule. I've got 2 right in a row in the morning and then 1 in the afternoon, and I just like the way that they fall. So that's good, but I'm just so sick of the material by Thursday, and so it's a real grind to motivate myself to go and to do this again. And that's where I am. But I will say, in contrast to the beginning of the semester, my spirits are much higher. And I think there's a couple of reasons for that. I think it really helped last week, having that week where I was just able to be in my office more and get things done, grading and other things at work, actually. No writing, but we're getting there. But just having that time to decompress a little bit. And also, I think what we've been doing together has really been helping. That managing stress series, the prayer journal that we've been working on together. I've been having a couple, and there may be others of you following along as well, which is fantastic in terms of people that have been commenting and officially doing it with me every week. I've had a solid little group: Sam and Melanie and Delta Flute, and I want to say maybe Lara has participated. She wrote to me this week. Thank you, Lara. So it's been really nice having the knowledge that I have that outlet and that I have all of you along with me, following my journey and journeying along. We're praying for each other, and it's wonderful, really, really wonderful. I've been thinking a little bit lately, now that I had time, about Plans Unscripted, the podcast that I do with Christina. We've been on hiatus because this has been impossible. It was impossible for us to schedule a mutually available time. So since September, and we had recorded that disaster that happened. Maybe that was in September, where we recorded an episode, but it didn't record properly, and so the audio file was unusable, and that was just like the straw that broke the camel's back. After that, I was like, I had to then look into my Skype recording software and fix thing. I still haven't taken care of that, but there is apparently a solution now. So it just hasn't been possible for us to go back to that for the time being, but it is in the works that we want to get back to that, and I do have a solution for our technical audio problems, so I've just got to actually implement that. And it's been on my mind and heart, some things that Christine and I want to talk about with you, just lifey stuff and how we're dealing with it. And I just think that there's so much value in that, having those discussions and being there for each other and having that sense of community. And we're both really looking forward to getting back to that. So I don't know, December? Yeah, probably December. So that's the goal right now. And we'll see. Of course, I'm going to have to teach again in the spring, but I'm not thinking about that right now. We're just going to do what we need to do to get through the end of what we're doing right now, and thinking happy thoughts about the holidays and plan not scripted and other fun things coming up. Advent. I've been compiling my shopping cart of Advent books. I'll put in the show notes what I have in my cart currently. I've talked about some of them in the past and I just haven't checked out yet because I'm spoiled and I have Amazon Prime, and so I know that I can just have them in 2 days. So there hasn't been a rush, and I figured I might as well just let them build up. So I've got a couple of journals in there, and my friend Irina suggested something to me that I've added in there. Ooh, and there's a Mother Teresa book. Okay, so there's good stuff. I'm going to put those all in the show notes if you would like to follow along with any of those. So I'm excited. I'm excited. There's good things coming up. And so, yeah, we're at 15 minutes, and I've got to go, I don't know, check my email before I teach because I'm sure there's lots of crap in there. And I got to take care of that. So it was nice being able to talk to you again this week. Write in and let me know how things are going with you. If you're praying the novena, if you would like to share your intention, or just if you are not able to do that, say that you have a special intention and we can all pray for you. And I would love that. And I hope you have a wonderful weekend. It is my Henry's birthday this weekend, and he's going to be 11, and I do not think that is right. That does not seem right. But there it is. We're having a family party for him, and we're taking him out to dinner. It should be a really nice weekend. So I look forward to sharing all of that with you next week. I will talk to you soon. Bye.